Hello everyone, welcome back to another Point After podcast video, and we are here. It's football time in 2023, first game of the year in Dublin, Ireland. Notre Dame versus Navy. Um, this is going to be an interesting game for one or more reasons. Sam Hartman transferred from Wake Forest, playing in his first game for Notre Dame. It'll be interesting to see how quickly the offense gets figured out with him at quarterback, with Coach Marcus Freeman there as well. How they can figure that out. But another thing is Notre Dame, facing Navy, who previously loves to run the triple option. However, they have a new coach, Brian Newberry, going to be making his debut in Dublin on Saturday. So we'll be seeing if he continues the triple option that Navy has run for a long time. I assume they will. Nothing's really changed even with new coaches. So which means Notre Dame's going to have a tough time potentially holding Navy's offense together. They're going to, Navy, any team that runs a triple option, whether that's Army, Air Force, Navy, they do a good job of limiting possessions. And, if Notre Dame isn't scoring a couple, Navy can keep it close. That's what they did last year. Notre Dame was able to survive in November of last year, 35-32. And I think it could be a very similar game like that. But it all depends on how Notre Dame and Sam Hartman gel together in their first game. If we look at their stats from last year, look at the schedule from last year, Notre Dame had a solid year. They finished 10-3. A couple of losses to Ohio State and Marshall. Then found their groove. They upset Clemson, they were 9-4. They upset Clemson and Syracuse. Also beat BYU. They lost to USC late, but they were in that game till the very end. And beat South Carolina on the road, in the bowl game in the Tax Slater Bowl. So I think they got some momentum late in the year. They had a solid recruiting class, so I think they're set up to have a solid year opening as the number 13 team in the nation. I just think that this could show some struggles with Notre Dame. Not anything to probably worry about passing defense wise, because Navy's not really going to pass. However, if Navy does light up Notre Dame's defense through the air, then that might be a problem. But Notre Dame, Navy might hang around. I don't think they should lose this game, and they probably should win by a couple of touchdowns. The line is 20.5. I would say that Navy does cover that. I think it's they could win. Notre Dame can win by 14 or more, around 14. I just don't think Notre Dame will ever be in a position where they are in jeopardy of losing this game. I think there'll be control for most of the game, but Navy might just hang around. Giving Notre Dame some adversity or pressure to have to always keep scoring, have to limit possessions like Navy's going to be doing. But Marcus Freeman, second year at Notre Dame, 9-5 record. He coached the bowl game in 2021 against Oklahoma State after Brian Kelly left. So 9-5 record. Be interesting to see what he does in his second full year. Can he avoid the two losses he faced opening season last year to Ohio State and Marshall? He needs to get off to a solid track. Notre Dame, if they want to have a chance late in the year to make the college football playoffs, Notre Dame doesn't have a conference affiliation, so they don't have a conference championship game, and that's always something that the committee members look at when they're trying to select the four teams. How did you do in your conference championship games? So Notre Dame's really got to prove in their 12 games that they're one of the four best teams, and it all depends on how Sam Hartman plays. From Wake Forest, obviously, I think this is his last season. It is in college football, a one-year chance for Notre Dame. I think it is a good addition for them. I think he'll bring something through the air that Notre Dame hasn't had in a minute. So it's just how quickly Notre Dame can get the offense running. But they have a couple games before they, face a big-time opponent. After this, when they play Tennessee State, and then on September 9th, they head to NC State, which could be, a tough game on the road in Raleigh, North Carolina. And then a couple weeks later, they play Ohio State. So they have, 4 or 5 weeks to get ready for Ohio State to show that they're ready. They're hosting that game. It's going to be a big game. And then, later in the year, they have USC and Clemson. So how quickly Notre Dame and Sam Hartman get gelled and get the offense running will determine how Notre Dame finishes the season. But overall, I think Notre Dame will win this game pretty easily. The score might be closer than it seems, just because Navy, triple option team, they tend to do that a lot. We've seen it in the past. Oklahoma struggled with the Army a couple years ago. Michigan also struggled with the Army a couple years ago as well. So it's not to say that these games are easy for teams that don't face triple options. So that's why it could be closer than it really seems. But I don't think this will, I don't think Notre Dame will struggle at all. It is in Ireland, so maybe that causes some problems for both teams. Started off sluggish. We saw that with Nebraska and Northwestern last year. Both teams really had a hard time getting going. So in the end, Notre Dame should win this first game of the season. College football's back, and they should be able to win this game. Go get ready for Tennessee State, and finally, face a defense and an offense that they're used to, and get ready for some of their bigger matchups in NC State and Ohio State. Thank you guys for watching this, and I'll see you next time.